this is why. So here's a bunch of stuff. That's what I think is the ultimate winner. It's not just the bins. I just have a feeling it might be one of those days, unless that first rotation was just good. It might be one of those days. I used to say, like, man, if I had one regret, it was how I... What is going on, everybody? RJ136 coming at you with another video. I only sourced at the Goodwill bins for a month, and I'm still only sourcing at the Goodwill bins for a month, and it's literally paying my rent. I'll explain how I do that in 1 second, but something weird just happened for the first time ever, and I want to show you. It has something to do with this stuff here, and I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, but I'll just let me explain. So for those who don't know who I am, my name is RJ136. Obviously, at the start of this video, I talked about that. I source clothing. That's really all I do. I find clothing that is either just getting thrown away, or you can buy bulk, or it's just really cheap, and then I buy it and post it on all the selling platforms: Depop, eBay, Poshmark. Actually, that's it. I'm working on getting on some of the other ones, but I'm using Nifty right now and just sourcing and listing and putting them on all of those different platforms. Anything that can make a sale, I'll be happy with it. Sometimes I even sell things on Facebook Marketplace. That's a different breed of its own. All of these are things that are on my store. I make majority of my money from eBay, primarily. And the secondary money opportunity, or where I make my money, is Poshmark. Something weird, really weird just happened for the first time ever. I don't know how to feel about it, except for maybe like, that's a good thing. But let me show you. So here is my eBay store, the Ilio Island. So today is the 18th of June. It's almost my birthday, and I have 1,003 items active on my store. Currently right now, I list about 13 items a day, but realistically, I take pictures of 19 items a day. I list 13, and then I schedule 3 out on the weekend, if that makes sense. You can see here on eBay, I have sold 10 items today. This is actually a strange day. Halfway through the day, I didn't have any sales, and then this morning I woke up and had 10 sales. I didn't make 10 sales overnight. I had a couple sales go out towards the end of the day, and then I woke up and I was like, whoa, I've got 10 sales going out. So that was a interesting sales day. Today on Poshmark, I had no sales go out. Now you could think, oh my gosh, this is scary. And if you guys watched last video, I talked about this theory of freaking out if things happen or whatever. Just what happens in startups of business and early phases of business. I've only been doing this really for 4 months. But here's the really weird thing that happened that has never ever happened. I don't know if anyone's ever, I don't know, maybe. This might have happened to somebody before. What am I saying? This has probably happened to somebody, but this is really cool, I guess. I'll look at this in a positive light. I sold 2 items on Depop. It was these, what is this? It was a Y2K Levi 501 for $22, and then a vintage Patagonia jacket for $60. Essentially, the really weird thing is that I made more sales on Depop than I did on Poshmark ever. I'm actually really excited about, I don't remember if I put this part in the video. I'm pretty sure I did in last video. I was talking about how Poshmark, Depop, and eBay are all different platforms. Like, they all work differently. Sometimes things do better on Poshmark, and sometimes I have better Poshmark days than eBay days. Sometimes I have better, most of the time I have better eBay days than Poshmark days. A lot more women's clothing goes out on Poshmark than eBay. There's all this different stuff, but I have yet to figure out Depop, and I'm still trying to learn Depop. But the fact that I had 2 sales go out in one day on Depop is a win in itself. My first sale was the 6th of this month, which is not that long ago, but I've been on Depop for much longer. So I've had a total of 4 sales in, let's call it, a month on Depop. Now I just literally doubled my sales in one day on Depop, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. We're gonna go ship this item out. We're gonna talk about why I only source the Goodwill bins. And I'm not trying to say that this is the right thing to do, but I'll show you how I make it work. I have a little over 1,000 items. This pays my rent. We're working on scaling every single day. And there's a lot to go into this, but I wanna show you. But first off, let me get these items shipped out, and then we'll get into the topic. Supreme shirt went out for $42. North Face jacket, $35. J. Crew shorts went out for $22. Something happened. On the way to the forum, DVD, these are pretty old. Talk about this word quantily. I'm kind of making it up, but I heard it on a podcast with Alex Ramosi, and it was really something that I wanted to think on, because sometimes we talk and think about, okay, is this a quality game or a quantity game? Our brains are always thinking it's either this or this. In a world like reselling, we can have both to an extent. The person that can sell the most items can do really good. But what happens if they're selling baseball cards for 50 to 60 cents? Well, now you're playing this massive volume game, and they're holding a massive amount of volume on these cards. At least my guess. They're spending a lot less time sourcing and a lot more time listing and shipping. The problem is that we have sell-through rate that we have to worry about, and we have what they're actually going for that we have to worry about. And then you have the other side of it where some people are like, okay, well, why don't you just sell Apple MacBooks on Facebook Marketplace and eBay all day long, and you can get, in the hundreds, in the $1,000 range. But then the other side of it is now I'm spending more of my time sourcing and less time listing and shipping, because I'm not going to be able to get 60 MacBooks at a low budget as well. So I'm trying to play this game right now, especially at the bins, where it's the, whatever that word that I just used, quantily. I think it's like a healthy middle ground. I know for a fact that I cannot buy and cannot afford buying high ticket items at wholesale price. But then the other side of it is that I don't want to spend a penny for a baseball card and have to spend all day listing and all day shipping. If I sold a baseball card for $2, and after eBay's fees, and hopefully I calculated shipping the correct way, I would be left with this number. Reverse engineer how much I would want to make a livable wage. Let's just say $5,000 a month. I would need to sell this many per month and this many per day. It's a different game when it comes to sell-through rate for baseball cards, for sure. I like to go off of something that I can trust, which is my sell-through rate. Now, I know that we're in a world where a lot of people I've seen a lot of YouTubers talk about sell-through rate not being everything. And I can agree if your business model is different than what mine is. My business model is selling clothing. So if I can get as close as I can to at least know what my demand is in clothing, I'm much more confident to buy that piece of clothing, just because I can see with my own eyes the demand of that article of clothing. Where if I'm selling vintage goods, and I'm talking like true vintage goods, like a vintage China set, or some one-off thing that's really hard to find, yeah, like a lot of people are going to grab that, because if you can make $1,000 and you want to hold on to that item for 4 months or 5 months or a year even, it might be more worth it. At least from the clothing sellers that I watch and consume and talk to every day, that's kind of their metric. If I can have a mixture of quality and quantity in my store, then I'm able to trust in the volume that I can do and have a good sourcing route and opportunity. Where I am in my place is that I want my cost of goods to be as low as I can. And so that way I can be able to make a good margin through sell-through rate. If there's any new sellers out there, some people ask what sell-through rate is. Sell-through rate is basically just seeing the supply and demand of an item. If I have an item that there's 100 listings of this item, and then I go to the sold comps in eBay, so I just filter sold and completed, and I see that over 100 have sold, then I know that I have over 100% sell-through rate. If it's equal and there's 100 listed and 100 sold, well, now I know that's an exact 100% sell-through rate. If I see that there's 100 listed and 50 sold, it's a 50% sell-through rate. And if I see there's 100 listed and 10 sold, it's a 10% sell-through rate. I've heard of different calculations for sell-through rate, but that's how I calculate sell-through rate. And that's typically how I'm seeing if this item is good or not. I just try to get as best and as close as I can, and then start to pay attention to what sells in my store. The cool thing about days like today is because I am selling 10 items, listing 13, selling just 10 on eBay, 2 on Depop, I'm hopeful to be able to increase the amount of daily sales by how much I'm actually listing because of how cheap it is to get things at the bins. Morning. Doing great, how are you? Have a good one.
See ya.
I think one thing that makes the bins kind of tough, especially right now during summer, is how busy it gets. It makes it really competitive, and I then have to go, if it starts getting too late in the day, it's gonna make it much harder for me. I kind of want to start driving there, if that's cool with you. I hope it is. I'm just gonna go though, and then let's see if we can get anything cool. So if you want to follow me, feel free. You know what's weird about these camera angles is that the more I start to like know the workers and the people here, I'm like awkward about setting up different angles. It makes me feel awkward because they're like, why is he doing 6 loops around the parking lot? And I have no other good explanation besides, oh, I'm just making a YouTube video. So I don't know how I'm gonna get used to this, but anyways, we gotta get going. Okay, so my brain is all over the place. You get someone that has the amount of ADHD that is just filled up in my brain, and a 30-minute drive every day, man, I'm just going to places. Oh my goodness, things are flying on eBay right now. Oh, it's an offer. Ooh, I'm taking that offer. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Is this dangerous? No, this isn't dangerous. Y2K Monster hoodie. Full zip. Good bolo there. Keep your eye out on that. $45 what someone's asking. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take that offer. Anyways, my brain goes to all these different places. So we have a honeymoon coming up in about 4 months now. We're going to San Diego. Being the car guy that I am, and if no one knew I was a car guy, just go to my channel, hit oldest video, and you will see a bunch of car videos. My task, well, I have a few tasks, but my biggest task, most fun task, is to find the rental car for the honeymoon. And we have gone back and forth. I have looked at a Toyota Supra, the newer ones. I've looked at Ford Broncos. I've looked at some BMWs. I've looked at Ford, I already said Ford Broncos. I almost said it again. The one that we're leaning towards right now is a convertible Mini Cooper. I have been and driven a handful of Mini Coopers, and they're like what everyone says. They're like go-karts on the road. Now, as I drive, I'm like looking at every car on the road, and I see all these cars, and I'm like, man, I think right now we're in between Ford Bronco, the new ones, and a Mini Cooper. We want something where the top can come off so we can enjoy the California sun and weather. There will be a day that we have a car collection. And sometimes I'm like, you know, maybe one of these cars might need to get added into the car collection. So I don't know. I can't make my mind up. Those are just the thoughts that go on in my brain while I'm driving. I'm thinking about everything about my route. I want to take a different route because it's kind of cool. It's a different vibe. And so I'm taking a different route, and then I see different cars. I see the beautiful mountains. My therapist, I do this thing called brain mapping, and I should talk about this more in the vlogs. It's this cool thing that my brain is being studied on how it works in different modes and just works to kind of even itself out. It's been life-changing, and it helps a lot, and I highly suggest that anybody just talks about the things that goes on in your brain. But besides the point, he calls it letting myself ADHD. And that's something that I have been working on doing more. If I can consciously get into an ADHD mode where my brain goes all different directions, I think of really good YouTube ideas. I think of things that I need to source and things I need to study. And then I also think of the car that I'm gonna rent for the honeymoon, which is random. But then I think of other fun things. So I'm letting the creativity side of me come out more. I'm reading, instead of less self-help boring books, I'm reading more like fiction books, and I'm enjoying it more. So you're gonna see that show up in the content. You're gonna see the creative brain start just really coming out. Hopefully you guys see that. Anyways, we gotta get to the bins. I gotta start driving. It's getting busy. I've already gone through one rotation and went through a already used bin and grabbed some good stuff. Stepping outside to try to find a cart, because I just have a feeling it might be one of those days, unless that first rotation was just good. Might be one of those days, which is a good thing because I love to have extra inventory. A lot of winter stuff, which I'm not going to complain about because I'd rather have my store be prepared for that when it comes. So here we go. Okay, here's a big reason why we like the bins here. So we've got here some American Eagle super high rise flare. We got 1 and 2 of them. Now, if I were to go to a thrift store, I'd probably be paying $8 to $10 for that pair. And as you can see here, it sells for $25. And with it having a pretty decent sell-through rate, it helps a lot to be able to get this like lower cash flowing thing. So another brand is like Ariat FR. Now, when someone sees this at a thrift store and they work there, they're gonna see this brand and just automatically price it significantly higher than all the other pair of jeans. So you could easily get Ariats for 15 to 20. But the second I get them here, they're gonna be priced the same as those American Eagle jeans. So my profit is gonna be so much more healthy. The size on this is the craziest, weirdest size I've ever seen. I don't even know if I'm gonna get these. Normally these are always a yes, but 44 by 38. Like I don't know if I've ever seen that size before, but I couldn't find a single comp on this specific size at all. 54.23 is what our grand total is today. So we're gonna go through and see how much it all cost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It's this number per item. You know, we could say, oh, jeans cost this much and this cost this much. I kind of like to do it per item. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it, honestly, but that's how much we paid. I don't even have to do the math right now. I mean, I'm doing the math while I'm editing. Thank you, editing. RJ, you're the best, man. You're really nice. I look forward to be like you someday. Future editing RJ. But it's just like, I know that this is better than what I could get at the thrift store. Like I was saying, these American Eagles, these Levi's, they're gonna be at least $8, and if I'm lucky, $6. So if anything, worst case, I'm getting half price. So the whole point of this is just realizing, ow, it's hot. Woo! Ow! I just burnt the crap out of myself. Hold on one second. Okay, wow, I am so red in the face. It's scorching hot. I shouldn't have left this open. This guy should have been closed, but I don't even know. Sometimes when it gets really hot, the microphone doesn't work on this thing. Hopefully it's working. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get food and then we're gonna debrief. I can't think. I'm so hot. It is so crazy in here. It says that it's 82 It doesn't feel like that. This AC better get going soon. Whew. I'll pick you guys up in just a second. Give me 5 seconds. Doing good. All right, so I want to go over briefly some of the reasons why the last month I went full into the bins. I've spent, I think the first half of my reselling career was only at the thrift stores. And then this second half of my reselling, full-time reselling career is only at the bins. This logo here, the second you see this logo, thrift stores easily start pricing these things for $15. And these are the lightweight ones, as you guys can see. Look, ready? I don't know if that helps. You didn't even have to watch this video to know that going to the bins is gonna save me a ton of money. The biggest thing is that the amount of money that it saves actually requires me to be able to get more items. I think I'll get to a point where eventually I look at the bins and go, okay, I am peaking out on the amount of things that I can get at the bins for the amount of time I'm spending. I don't know, maybe not. But for right now, it just only makes sense. This Carhartt jacket is a minimum $30 jacket when you go to a thrift store. Where at the bins, I don't know how much this Carhartt jacket weighs. Let's weigh it out. We got the scale right over here. Why not? Why not? We're going crazy here. Okay, so this jacket weighs 2 pounds, let's call it 14 ounces. So 2 pounds, 14 ounces. I'm doing a lot of math in this video today, I'm sorry. I paid $4.25 for this Carhartt jacket. If any thrift store employee sees a Carhartt jacket, they are pricing that thing up. But I'm gonna go eat lunch really quick. I today got a Bloom. Normally I get Celsius, but I found some YouTube videos of the CEO of Bloom, and I haven't watched a lot of them, but I just thought it was cool. I like supporting people that do what I do. Although this guy is probably a billionaire, and I'm probably like close. Yeah, I gotta support. You know, we're YouTubers. Me and this guy. I'll be right back. All right, Bloom Strawberry Watermelon. This is the first time I'm trying this, so first sip, best sip. Let's give it a shot. I would say it's more strawberry than watermelon. I bought this for the watermelon. So it's still good though. It's still good. Nods. First sip, best sip on the Bloom Energy. Strawberry watermelon flavor.
Ooh.
Oh, hold on.
I like the smell too.
Someone's having a moment. You good? All good? Feel better now? She always gets this burst of energy when Nadia shows up. When I'm home, Stella is chill. She just sits and hangs out and sleeps the second Nadia shows up. Okay, first sip, best sip. Be honest about the flavor.
That's good.
Really?
Yeah.
You like it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was more strawberry than watermelon.
That's what I like. I like the
really?
strawberry more. Mm-hmm.
See, I was different. So, there you go. What would you do as drinking of this if we were sponsored by Bloom?
Try Bloom. Super good.
Business email below. All right, we're gonna get to listing. We've got actually 20 items to list today because I had this extra Lululemon. I was gonna give it to Nadia. It just has a little extra flaws, but I figured might as well list it, pay the 50 cents to list this, and just list it for a price to get it gone, and maybe it'll move on Poshmark.
I feel like I'm that 1% that does not like Lululemon unless I just haven't found the right.
I feel like you haven't found the right one.
Because a lot of them either way too tight, too small, or like it's not high-waisted. It's like the line cuts off in the middle of your butt, and then it's just like, this is just for me. Some people do like that, but I don't know. See, it's just very like I like even the ones that curve like this.
Yeah.
What is those ones? It's like crossover. The girls will understand.
This video is about the bins today. Okay, that's another thing about the bins that I really like is that the amount of personals you can get for a very good price is awesome. I love that about the bins. What is one of those brands that when you go to the bins and you see, you look at it and go, this might have to go in the personal collection?
To me, what's hard is I don't even like care about brands. I care about like the style and the material and how it feels. I don't know. I guess I'm not.
That's fair.
Super trendy. Like, I don't know.
No, that's fair. You're not a materialistic girl.
But I love fashion.
I
love fashion, but I don't care much about the brands. It's just, ooh, this is cute. I want this. And not even looking at the brand.
Fair. Nadi's birthday is in September. Take notes, people.
His birthday is in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
It's the 30th.
That's in like less than a week.
Hey, time's flying by. I know your birthday. She's like,
oh, she looked right at the camera.
She's like, post.
She's like, oh crap. Act like a dog. Make sure that everyone on YouTube thinks I'm a dog. I love you, bestie.
I'm gonna go relax.
You go relax. All right, we got to get to listing here.
It has been scorching hot outside, so my walks with Stella are limited to grass only and no long walks. She thrives in weather that I hate, and I'm opposite. Kind of. The fair skin doesn't help me too much when it's this sunny outside. Anyways, I want this video to more so come across as like neutral. Like if you are a seller, you just want to see what it looks like to just source from the bins. That's the reality of it. There, I think, are trade-offs on both sides. I feel like everything in life has a trade-off. I was just thinking about that. It's like if I sourced at garage sales, it's great to get cheap items, and you can get those one-off really nice items at garage sales. You are limited to season, you're limited to where you live and how often garage sales are. If you are limited to just the flea market, you're probably getting really good items, but again, paying up a little bit more, and flea markets are only open on certain days, at least out here in Colorado. I don't want this video to be like, put your whole business into the bins, but it's more just like, this is what I'm doing right now. I don't think my whole business will be in the bins. If I could wave a magic wand in the future, especially how this business is going, I would really like to start sourcing from people. I think something that I've kind of loved about this industry is taking the clothing that just gets put out into nothingness and just trashed, and actually making that go to good use. So like if I can do that with other people, helping people clean out their closets, or helping other small businesses at flea markets and so on to be able to support those, I would love to do that. But I'm not in the place right now to be spending thousands and thousands on dollars to source a lot of different items. Right now I'm trying to get the least cost of goods, and the downside of that is having to sift through bins for hours in the day. It's not like I just go there for an hour and walk away with 100 items. As much as I wish that was the case, it's just simply not. I think the biggest thing that I have learned in these 4 months of reselling is that there's two people that win, and it goes off of what I was talking about with this morning, with that word that I used that I'm already forgetting.
Quantity.
But there's two people that win in this. It's the people that can get items, but it's the people that know what items to grab. I used to think, especially when I was an everything seller, I was like, man, those clothings, it just intimidates me. And I would grab articles of clothing, especially as a part-time seller, and I'd be like, this seems cool, I guess, so let's just list it on eBay. I feel like the more I know what I'm looking for, the more I magically find, but I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think that that's just the reality of it, is that once I start to know brands or styles or subsectors of brands that sell well, then I get better and I can sell more things. For example, I just sold a pair of J. Crew shorts, and those J. Crew shorts I would have never grabbed a couple weeks ago because I thought J. Crew was always do not grab. But that's not the case. Oh, Stella wants to be in the shot here. This learning phase that I'm in now is helping my business more at the bins, especially because now I have better info on what I'm grabbing and what I'm not grabbing, being able to fill my store up with more and walking out with more because I'm getting better. But I'm also not getting good, because there's brands that I'm looking back in my store and being like, why did you grab that? Or something that is just absolutely cooked, but just because it said Patagonia on it, you know, I thought that I should grab it and still sell it anyways, you know, and I should have never sold it. As I go through this journey, and as you guys watch me in this journey of reselling full time and making it afford my wedding and my rent and everything else in between, I am hopeful on just learning, especially in this clothing industry. That's what I think is the ultimate winner. It's not just the bins, because anybody could go to the bins, and a lot of people just do, and a lot of people fill up their cart with crap and spend $110 thinking that they're just doing so good. Stella enjoying this wind. You're so funny. I'm distracted. I always say if I was a dog, I would definitely be Stella sometimes, I swear. I just love YouTube so much. I just enjoy this. I enjoy editing. I enjoy just this whole process of everything about YouTube. And so the comments that I'm getting, the subscribers, or the people that DM me on Instagram, link in bio, you have no idea how much that makes my day, because it's just getting that much closer to a dream that I've always had, which is doing YouTube. My dad's calling me. 1 second. All right, we're back home. It is way too hot outside to do anything. I was on a rant about how much I love YouTube, and it's true, man. I really have never enjoyed a business as much as I've enjoyed reselling, but I enjoy doing YouTube about reselling even much more. And I was briefly talking about, like, I used to do car YouTube videos, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I still have my BMW E30. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I think that God set me up to learn a couple lessons. There's this book I read called The Outliers. Where is it? Bang, Outliers. And it was talking about this theory that there's some people that were set up in an opportunity in life just from the sake of timing. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, they were set up in a time where computers were still like, there was a learning phase in computers, and they got jumped into certain colleges that worked out so perfect for them to be able to study computers. It was also talking about the theory of certain kids' birthdays being really good for hockey because they were the same age as certain kids, but because they were a few months older, they were able to get a slight advantage. And I feel like I was in this era in YouTube where when I first started YouTube almost 10 years ago now, it was where YouTube wasn't really known as a job. Like, no one really respected YouTube as it is today. I used to say, like, man, if I had one regret, it was how I didn't take YouTube as serious in cars, because I felt like I missed that window. I was like, man, I'm the perfect age. A lot of people that do YouTube that I was consuming their content were close in age to me to have the same thing as, like, when I was a freshman in high school, no one was like, I want to be a YouTuber, or YouTube wasn't really a thing. I had some videos do somewhat successful, but I just didn't do it consistently enough. And I used to just really, really regret that. I used to just sit there and go, like, man, why did I stop doing car YouTube? And I had the chance over quarantine to do weekly videos for some time, and I just didn't. I think that was almost an alley-oop waiting to be had, where God was like, dude, I'll give you another chance. I'll give you a chance to do YouTube. And I just want to seize this moment right now and take advantage of it. And man, I love it. I have so much fun doing it. Like when I'm editing at Starbucks, sometimes I'm catching myself smile from an edit, because I just love getting these angles and edits, and you guys see it. You guys see the whole thing. But we're going a little too off topic, but that's totally okay. And if you guys have other suggestions that you'd like to see, more day in the life of a full-time seller, building this to a point where, I don't know, building it to, there's a bunch of goals that I have, so I don't know. I want to be as transparent as I'm comfortable with being. I think about this business, I'm pretty open to sharing this, because one, I think it's helpful for people, but two, selfishly, I kind of like looking back at these videos being like, you bought that? You listed that? Or like, ooh, like, why were you doing that? Or that's what your photo station looked like? But I'm really grateful for it. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. I need to have a good outro. There's this guy I watch, he's actually in Colorado. He's like, if you're having a good day, keep chasing your dreams, stuff like that. I want to have a good outro. I'll get there. We'll get there. But we got it. We're building subscribers. Oh, we hit 3,000 subscribers. Yes, I almost forgot, guys. This is great. We reached, like, I think since I've been doing just reselling content videos, we've reached 1,000 subscribers in just resell videos. I'm pretty sure, which is like a massive milestone because it took me forever to just get to 1,000 subscribers when I was doing car YouTube. So about a couple months to gain 1,000 subscribers. Y'all, this is great. I have a couple goals for this channel. I want to definitely reach 100,000 subscribers at some point, but I'll take 1,000 subscribers at a time. I appreciate every single one of you guys. This is awesome. It's just so great. But with that, I'm gonna leave. Like I said, I still don't have a good outro, so all I'm gonna say is thanks and subscribe. I appreciate the comments, and God bless. Have a great day. Peace.